guys, hope you are doing well. I hope you are going through all my AutoCAD tutorial lectures and you are finding the lectures interesting. I've already discussed about all the basic 3D commands that has to be used in order to prepare a mechanical model of a particular three-dimensional object in AutoCAD. And just by using those concepts, you can actually move forward and design any complex structures that come in front of you. Okay, so today what we will do is we will try to design a particular mechanical model that is available here. As you can see in the screen, we have got a mechanical model available and all the dimensions for this model are already given, right? So what we will do first is we will open AutoCAD software and we will set the limits. So firstly, our limits has to be set according to the drawing that is given. So I will type the command limits and I will specify the lower left corner at 0, 0, so 0, 0 or 0 tab 0, whatever. Okay, and the upper right corner, I am setting the upper right corner as because this is 110 and this is 62. So what I will do is I will keep the upper right corner at suppose 150, 150, right? Then I will apply the limits to our screen by applying the command Z, enter, A, enter. Okay, so the limits has already been set to the screen. The next thing that we will do is we will change the model view. That is, I will try to keep the model view in the preferably in southeast isometric, but for this particular drawing, as you can see that this drawing representation that has been given here is in southwest isometric. You will be able to understand when we start the drawing. So what we will do here is we will try to keep the model view in southwest isometric view. Okay, so I'm clicking on southwest isometric and accordingly the coordinate setup and the view has been displayed in the screen. Okay, so first thing first, let us go through the dimensions of the drawing and the structure of the drawing. So as I have already said that before you go for a 3D model, you have to work on the 2D structure and then you have to go for the 3D modeling, right? So we will first design the 2D model of related to this drawing, this particular drawing, and then we will go for the 3D modeling. So let us construct this particular face of the object by applying the rectangle command. Okay, so as you can see here that if we are constructing this face, then we will give this distance, this height is 62 given and this total length is given 110. Therefore I will apply the command rectangle here and I will try to specify the first corner, and as you can see that when I am drawing the rectangle, it is actually drawn on the top face or the bottom face that has been specified here. That is, as you can see here that the X and Y axis are aligned accordingly, so that whatever you draw here will be drawn on the top face or the bottom face of the views. Okay, so we will firstly go to this visualize option. We'll apply the 3-point option here in order to specify the X and Y axis. So I'll click on this 3-point option here. As I have already discussed, I will keep the ortho on and I will click on an arbitrary point here and I will specify the X axis along this direction and the Y axis along this particular direction, and automatically the X and Y has been aligned in the front face and Z axis is usually perpendicular to X and Y. Now we will start our drawing and we will use the rectangle command first. So I'll go to this home tab, I will select this rectangle, and what is the dimension? The dimension is 62 and 110. So I will specify the first corner here and I will give the dimensions as 110. Okay, and the width of the rectangle as 62, right? It's 62. So as you can see that I have to click on any point, so I'm clicking at this point and the rectangle has been already created. Okay, so this is our rectangle. Now in the diagram, as you can see here that the corners of the rectangles are filleted and the fillet radius is 12. Okay, so I will go to this fillet option. Okay, so it's a fillet option and I will select on this radius option because the radius is already given as 12. As you can see clearly here that the radius is 12 given for this filleting. So I will select the fillet radius as 12, enter. I'll specify the first object, I'll specify the second object. Again, I will repeat this fillet command. I'll go to this radius option. It's already given 12, so I'll click on enter. I'll specify the first line and the second line, and accordingly, as you can see, that the filleting has been done. So after the fillet has been done, we will extrude this rectangular part after the fillet has been done to a distance of 12. Okay, so I will select this extrude option from here, select this particular object, click on enter, and I will extrude it at a distance of 12. Okay, enter. If we go to this, let us keep this grid off, and we will go to this visual styles, and we'll keep this in realistic. As we keeping this in realistic, you can see that we have already created the basic structure of that particular rectangular part. Now we will construct these two circles, which are these are the two holes that are here having the same centers as that of the filleting radius. Okay, so I'll go to this O snap settings here, and I will keep this center option on. Okay, and the O snap must also be on. So as the O snap is on here, so when I go to this circle option and select this center diameter option in the diagram, as you can see here, that this circle, these holes are of diameters 12, is of diameter 12. Therefore we have got 4 holes, as you can see, 1, 2, 3 and 4. 512 into 4 holes. This means all the holes that you see here are of same diameter, that is of diameter 12. So I will go to this circle option, select the diameter option. I will track the center point. So here is the center point, and I will click on this and give the diameter as 12. Okay, so as you can see that we have already drawn this circle. Similarly, we will repeat the same for this part, this end, and I will click on this center option, and I will give this diameter as 12. We have already created these two circles. Now we have to create the holes at these particular points. So we will use the press pull option. As all of you know that the press pull option is just a combination of extrude and the subtract option. Therefore I will select on this press pull, and I will select this particular area and bring it at an desired distance, whatever may be the distance, not an issue, and click outside, and automatically you can see that the holes will be created. Again, I will select this area and bring it at an arbitrary distance outside this hole, not inside, it should be outside. If you are preparing along this direction, the cylinder will be created. On the opposite direction, on the negative direction of Z axis, holes will be created. So I'll click on here, and as you can see clearly, if I orbit this, that we have already created this particular section of the 3D model. Right now I'll try to keep this 2D objects that we have drawn here separate and delete it. Okay, so for that, what I can do is, you can apply a trick here. I can select this 3D model and click on delete. Okay, so we have got these two holes. I will select these holes and I will click on move, enter, bring this at a arbitrary distance. Then I can type an interesting command that is known as oops command. Okay, so OOPS. Okay, so once you click on this oops command, you can see that the AutoCAD will automatically bring the previous thing that you have done, and by mistakenly if you have deleted that, that will be brought back. Right, so I can now delete these two circles because I don't require these 2D objects. So I'll select this and click on delete. Right, again I'll try to bring this in southwest isometric, that is the default view, and we will move forward by constructing the other parts. Right, now as you can see here, when we are constructing the other parts, now we will construct this particular face. Okay, so as you can see, this distance is 50, and what is the height? The height is also 50. How? Because total is 62, and this distance, this height is 12. Therefore 62 minus 12 is 50. That means the height of this part will be 50. Right, so I will go to this again. I will select this line option, and I will select an arbitrary point, and I will give the distance as 50. Okay, and what we will do is, we will drag the center point of this line and bring it at a vertical distance of how much? Again it will be 50. Okay, right click, enter. Then I can select the line option again. I will draw another line, which is this particular line, which is of 22 units distance. So 22, enter. right click, enter. Now I will drag this and we will move this line, M, enter. We'll drag the center point of this line from here and bring it and put it here, right? So these two lines are now 50 distance apart, so I may click this line and delete it. That line was only for reference, right? Now I will select this line command again, and I will select this point and bring this at a distance of 10, right? So I'll bring this at a distance of 10, enter. Then we will move towards the left. At how much distance? This much distance is how much? This distance is, see, it's 50, this is 30. That means these two are 10 10 apart. So 10 plus 30 plus 10 gives 50. So this is half of 10, that means 5. So I will go a 5 distance on the left, okay, right? Then I will bring it, I will keep the ortho off and join it at this position, right? Again, on this side also I will apply the same technique. I will select this line option, I will drag this point, I will bring this at a distance of 10. We will move towards the right. Now this, the ortho must be on, so we'll move towards the right. Now this is 5, enter, and I will bring it, drag this endpoint. I can zoom it a little bit. I can drag this endpoint and join it here, right click, enter. So now I have already created this structure. One thing what I can do is I can create this circular part here. Now this circle center point is at the center of this line, and the diameter of this circle is how much? 30. So I will use this circle diameter option, and I will drag this center point of the line here, and I will give this distance as 30. Okay, so one thing you have to keep in mind, that whatever you are doing here, you have to keep in mind that X and Y axis is now aligned in the front face. If this X and Y axis would have been aligned in other faces, then you would not be able to draw this on the front face. Firstly, you have to align the coordinate according to the face on which you are drawing. Okay, so I can use the trim command now, tr, enter, then again enter. Then I can trim these portions. These portions I don't require, right click, enter. So I have created this profile. I will select this whole and click on join, J, enter. Okay, now this is a single profile that we have created. Now what I can do is, as you have seen, that the center point of this circle is aligned to the center point of this line. Okay, so I will select this object, I will click on move, M, enter. Now the reference point will be the center point here. I will drag this to point and bring it and click our cursor on this point, and that will be our center point or the reference point. And what we will do is we will track the midpoint of this line. So where is the midpoint of this line? I have to bring it. Let us keep this ortho off. Okay, and I will track the center point of this line here. So where is the center? This is the center point. It's the 3D midpoint. So I will click it at this point, and automatically the profile has been aligned on that particular part of the object. Okay, so I will use this press pull option again, and I will select this face, and as you can see, this face is actually subtracted out. So I will select this face and click on this face and move our cursor along the negative Z axis. So once you bring your cursor along the negative Z axis, the part of that object will be subtracted, right? So I'll click outside, and as you can see, this part has been already removed, right? Then again I will select this profile and I will bring our cursor along the positive Z axis. And how much distance? This distance will be, see, it's 23, right? So I will bring this at a distance of 23, enter. So as you can see here, that we have already created the object which looks like this, right? It's an interesting one, and you can clearly get an idea that how I have created the object, right? Next, what we will do, we will again go back to this southwest isometric view. I can zoom it a little bit. Then we have to create this base, right? So when you are creating this base, we have to go through the dimensions of this base. As you can see here, we will first create the rectangle. It's 110 and this is 45. So I will have to first align the coordinate in the top face or the bottom face, whatever you say. So I will go to this visualize option. I will select this and select this as the top, right? Now you can see that X and Y axis is now aligned accordingly, and we will be able to draw the rectangle. So I will select the rectangle command, and I will click on an arbitrary point here, and I will give the dimensions as how much. Its dimension is 45 and 110. So this is 45, and the width is 110. Okay, so as you can see, we have created this rectangle, and similarly we will fillet the corners. So we will fillet the corners. How much is the radius? It's 12. So I'll select this fillet option. I'll go to this radius option, and the filleting radius is 12. Okay, enter. I'll select the first line and the second line. Again, I will go to this fillet option. I will select this radius, and I'll select enter because 12 is already selected. I will select the first line and the second line, and automatically the filleting has been done. Similarly, we will extrude this particular profile at a distance of 12, because this height is 12. Therefore, I will go to this extrude option, select this profile, and click on enter, and we will give a distance. You can give it along the positive z-axis as well as in the negative z-axis. I am giving this in the positive z-axis, so I will give this distance as 12. Right now, as the O snap is on here, so I can track the center points of this filleting radius. So I will go to this circle option, center diameter. Now these circles are of diameter 12, so I will track the center point here. Where is the center point? The center point is here, so I'll track this point and give this distance as 12. Okay, similarly I will go to this center diameter option again. I will select the center point here, and I will give this distance, the diameter, as 12. Enter. Okay, now in the similar way, what we will do is we will use the press pull option. Select this press pull option, select the particular area, bring it down on the negative z-axis. Again, I will select this and bring it down at a negative z-axis outside the body, and automatically you can see that we have created this base. Right now, we will zoom out a little bit, and what we will do is we will select this object and move this object in the convenient position. So enter. I have to select the base point, so I will select this corner point as the base point here, and I will track this corner point of the previous object and bring it here. Right now, as you can see that these two circles are no longer required, so I will delete this, and these two objects are now separate objects, so I can use the union command for joining these two 3D objects. So union. Okay, enter. Select the first object, select the second object, and click on enter. Now it's a single object. You can actually orbit it. I hope our drawing is complete. Okay, it's an interesting one, and hopefully you have understood how to create this type of complex mechanical drawings. Okay, in the next class we will be discussing about another tutorial, and one thing, we will also go through the topic of dimensioning, how to dimension a 3D object. It's okay. So thank you for joining.